hear like this giant like boom. I'm sitting there and I'm like dazed. I'm like, did that actually just happen? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my world. It has been a hot minute since I've filmed and I'm so excited to finally film another video. So here we are. Hopefully you can see my top. I'm not naked, I swear. If you can only see me from like here up, I'm wearing something. Isn't it cute? What do you guys think? So as you can see, we are not in my car today because my car is gone. Not forever though, just temporarily though. Just temporarily, I promise. So today we are going to be talking about my story time about how I got into my first ever car accident. Yeah, it's a great story. I'm laughing about it because that's my way of coping with the stress and trauma that I went through. Before we get into it, today we are trying the brand new KFC fried chicken sandwich. The KFC right down the block just got it, and so I ran down there and grabbed it and I'm super excited. I have not eaten anything today, so I'm usually I like take thumbnail photos, but you know what? I'm just gonna pose with the sandwich and then later on my computer, I'll just pull up the video and then just like screenshot, you know, the still and just make that my thumbnail. I feel like this looks so dumb. So check this out. It actually looks really good. What do you guys think? It looks like it has a healthy dose of mayo, which is awesome. The chicken be looking thick. It be looking thick. What do you think? Okay, so my car is currently in the shop where it will be for a total of 2 weeks because that's how much damage was done to my car apparently. So I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that I am not hurt and the other driver is not hurt either because I was going at a whopping 15 miles per hour when this accident happened. I don't even know if I should classify it as an accident because like I was going 15 miles an hour. The other guy on the other hand might have been going like 20 to 30 miles an hour because he was, you know, he was really gunning it. So the bad news is that besides I don't have my car for 2 weeks, I also got into an accident with potentially the worst person I could have gotten into an accident with. And I will explain what that means a little later on, but I really wish I got into an accident with someone else. I hope he's not watching this video. I mean, why would he be watching this video? I'm sorry, dude, but you were awful, okay? And your insurance sucks too. So first I'll take a bite of the sandwich and I'll let you guys know what I think because my mouth is like really salivating right now and I might like drool all over myself. So where do I start? Whoa. First impression, I really like the breading. It has a really nice crunch and texture and flavor. The chicken and the sandwich, I just got mayo on my floor. The chicken and the sandwich is a little bit dry, having a bit of a hard time chewing through it and swallowing it. It's really not bad. Hopefully you can't see parts of the sandwich just falling off on the floor. Don't worry, I'll clean it up later, I promise. Is it as good as the Popeye sandwich? I wouldn't say so. I do think it's better than McDonald's. I don't remember if Burger King has released theirs yet, have they? I cannot keep up with all the food news. Every time I go and I like look up news related to fast food restaurants, somebody is releasing something new somewhere and I just like cannot keep up. Better than McDonald's, not as good as Popeyes. I would say it's in between. Getting back to my story time. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Was it a Tuesday or was it Monday? It might have been a Monday. It's a Monday afternoon after the gym at like 2:55. I'm cruising down my street, headed home. Did I mention after the gym? Headed home after the gym. I had a really good workout. I'm feeling really good. I'm like listening to music. I'm like jamming out. I'm going the speed limit because I'm not like really in a rush. I'm almost home and it's a residential street, so I don't want to go too quickly because there's a lot of pedestrians here. So I'm going 20 miles per hour. There's a stop sign right before my street. Stop at the stop sign, full stop because I'm a good driver, and I keep going. I noticed that there's a guy behind me and he is really close. Like he is tailing the fuck at me. And I hate it when people do that because it makes me really nervous because I know that if I make any sudden moves, they might not have enough time to react accordingly because they're so close. They're not really leaving themselves a lot of space to react. Typically when that happens, I actually tend to slow down a little instead of speed up. So my apartment complex is approaching and it's on the left-hand side. We'll say this is the car and my apartment complex is right here. Apartment. I'm like, so I start slowing down and I turn on my blinker a good 20 feet in advance because I think that's the rule, 20 feet. So I'm like, okay, this guy needs to know like I'm slowing down because I'm about to turn because he's so close behind me. So I'm like slowing down, I turn on my blinker, I start turning, and this guy right behind me decides he is going to pass me on my left as I'm turning into my apartment complex. You see what I mean? I'm turning left and he's like right into me as I'm turning. He hit me so hard that my car like jerked back straight onto the road. And so, like I said, I'm going pretty slow. And the ironic thing is, me going slow was probably what caused him to do that, because he decided that I was going way too slow for him and that he was going to pass me on the left. Now, why the left and not the right? I have no flipping idea. I was in the middle of the road. He could have totally passed me on the right. He decided he's gonna pass me on the left. So clearly he didn't see my blinker because I don't think he would have done that if he saw it. So boom! You hear like this giant like boom. And I'm sitting there and I'm like dazed. I'm like, did that actually just happen? And this guy keeps driving down the road all the way to the end of the street. And so I don't get out of my car. I sit in my car and I'm like, if this MFer is gonna try to hit and run me, I'm a chase him down. I'm driving after him. There's no way he's gonna hit me like that and then like run off. Like there's no way. I will be catching his license plate. And he wouldn't have been able to get away with it anyways because there's a couple like stores down there that I know have security cameras and would have totally caught his license plate. But he makes it all the way to the end of the street and then he stops and you could like tell he's thinking about it, and then he slowly reverses all the way back to my car. And people are like leaning out of their windows. All these passerby are coming up to me and are like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you want me to call the police? And I'm like getting out of the car and I'm super dazed. I'm not injured, thankfully. It was really not that hard of a hit. My bumper is like hanging off of the car and my headlight is completely out, but I'm totally okay. I'm just kind of dazed and like confused. If you've never gotten into an accident, you kind of in your head imagine how your first accident is gonna go or how it's going to go in general. You're like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the car, they get out of the car, assess the damage, I take pictures, they take pictures, we exchange information, he gives me or she gives me their insurance, and then there's just an exchange of information and everything's good, and we go about our days. So besides that, this guy originally drove down the street and then comes back, he gets out of his car and he's like, I'm late for my meeting, I have to go. I have to go. And he like runs around his car and he like takes some pictures and I'm like, hey, like I need to see your ID, I need to see insurance, please give those to me. And he's like, well, why were you driving so slow? Like, why were you driving so slow? And I'm just like, dude, it's a residential, the speed limit is 20. And like I was about to make a turn. There's like a lot of pedestrians here and children. I'm not gonna be going like 50 miles an hour. I'm sorry. But he was just like, you're driving too slow, you didn't turn on your blinker. I was like, okay, I mean, I did, but he's like, I'm late for my meeting, I have to go. And I'm like, okay, like driver's license, insurance. And he's like, I don't have those on. Like, I don't have them. And I'm like, you don't have a driver's license? And he's like, it's not with me. I don't have any of the papers with me. It's all in the mail. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, great. But like, I need something. You can't just leave. Like, that's a hit and run. And so there's like people gathering around and like filming and like watching what's going on. And I'm just like, dude, like I need something. And so he like calls his wife and he is like talking to her and he's like, like talking to her, I think like in Spanish. And he's like, okay, like here's the phone. And he like gives me the phone and his wife is like, hey, like I'm really sorry. I'll text you the insurance and my driver's license. What's your phone number? So I give her my phone number. I give him the phone. He's like, okay, I gotta go. Like I'm late for my meeting. And I'm like, dude, you just got into a car accident. How is your meeting more important than this car accident right now? Like your car has damage, my car has damage. I think your meeting can wait. I have no idea what was going through his mind. He's like, I have to go. I need to go to my meeting. And he gets in his car and he drives off. I literally could not keep him there. So I get the text. His wife sends me her license and her insurance. And so at the end of the day, I still don't know this guy's name. I never actually got to see his ID or who he was at all. Apparently he works at the Mexican restaurant down the street. So the police show up because somebody did end up calling the police, which I was very grateful for because they were actually very helpful. The police officers checked to make sure that the car he was driving was under her insurance, which it was. Like, okay, here's like the phone number of a witness that we got because somebody witnessed it and vouched for me. They're like, yeah, we saw her turn on her blinker and slow down, and he just like rammed past her. So I got their phone number and then the police drove off. So I'm like standing in the middle of the street, there's like glass and like cars car parts on the ground. And the ironic thing is, this accident literally happened 2 feet away from my parking spot, because I was right about to pull into my parking spot when he hit me. I was this close to make it into my parking spot before I got into this accident. So I got in the car. Thankfully the car was still drivable, so I was able to pull it into the parking spot without like the bumper falling off. Food break! I feel like it's definitely getting a little better. The inside is very moist and juicy. But I still think Popeye's is better. Something about their seasoning is lacking. Popeye's seasoning highlights the chicken perfectly. This is a little off. I feel like my top is like falling off. Like it's like slowly going lower and lower and lower. And it's kind of cold outside, but I had to wear this. It's like, spring is here. I have to wear a spring top. I have to have my spring nails. Like, let's go. So this is one of the reasons why he was such a terrible person to get into an accident with, because he didn't have any ID, didn't have the insurance information on him. And the moment he got out of his car, he was essentially trying to run away the entire time. He just really wanted to get to this work meeting, apparently. And so because of this, it was just such a frazzling experience, because he wasn't patient or calm-ish or had his documents. He was just super panicky and just like wanted to run away the entire time. And was kind of rude to me and kept blaming me for the accident. Even though, come to find out, which, I mean, this should be pretty obvious, but it is illegal to pass people on the left. I hadn't stopped, I hadn't put my hazards on, nothing. And so what he did was actually completely illegal. So I call his insurance, we go over what happened. It's pretty clear from the beginning that he's completely in the fault, in the wrong. So I file a claim with them. So I had to download their app and then upload pictures, videos, some descriptions, XYZ, pictures of my insurance. It took them a whole week to get back to me. A whole week of my car just sitting there with like nothing moving to get back to me. When they got back to me, this is the real clincher and the reason why he is absolute worst person to have gone into a car accident with. The insurance lady finally calls me up. She's like, all right, have your update. I'm like, okay. Whew. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, thank God, like finally, tell me how to move forward. I can finally get my dang car fixed. Like, yes, like please. She's like, we will not be covering anything. We have to deny this claim. And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was this guy's fault and he has insurance. Like, why isn't it covered? So here's the thing. When his wife had signed up for car insurance, she had put in writing, my husband will never drive this car. It will only be me. So technically, while the car was insured, her husband was excluded from the insurance policy in writing. And this is super interesting because I remember when I signed up for insurance, I put down like, oh, I live with my significant other. And they ask, will your significant other be driving the car? And I put no. And so it's really good to know, because if you put no, my significant other will not be driving the car, and then your significant other gets into a car accident with your car, guess what? The insurance wipes their hands of you and is like, nope, nothing is covered here. So my car is not covered by their insurance. So what I had to do, the next step, was to go to my insurance and to be like, hey, I was hit. It's not covered by their insurance. Please help me, God. Please help me, Geico. Please, Geico. I call Geico up. I tell them what happened. They go to the other insurance. They get the official denial. They arrange for my car to be towed to one of their sites so that they can start working on it. And my collision coverage comes with a $1,000 deductible. So I have to pay a $1,000 deductible. But because it was not my fault, what Geico is going to do is they're going to go after the husband and the wife for the damages on the car and for my deductible. So hopefully I will be getting my deductible back. So my car is going to be in the shop for 2 weeks. I have to pay a $1,000 deductible, which is great fun. You know, totally have that kind of money. I mean, $1,000 in the grand scheme of things is not a huge deal. It's just, it kind of sucks right now. I'm kind of in like a pinch, so $1,000 just out of nowhere definitely sucks a little bit. But like I said, at the end of the day, it could have been worse. I could have been injured and hospital bills on top of that. So now I, to be honest, kind of feel bad for the wife, because besides now she has to pay for my damage out of pocket, she has to pay for the damage on their car out of pocket too. And I have a crappy, like, older Prius. The car that hit me was a brand new 2020 Chevy Silverado. It was a $44,000 car. looked it up. So they have to pay for damages on this brand new shiny car. And then they have to pay for my damages, which is going to total around $5,000. So total, who knows, they could be paying from like $7,000 to $10,000 at the end of all this. All because she probably didn't know or forgot that she had excluded her husband from her insurance company. I swear, like, I so badly wanted to message her. This is gonna sound so bad, but I was going to text the wife, hey, the man is not worth it. You should divorce him at this point. Girl, you need to divorce your husband. Like, he's not that great. He's out here, like, going 40 in residential, passing people on the left, doing illegal things simply so that he can save 0.5 seconds of time, because that's literally how much he would have saved from what he did. 0.5 seconds of time. He wrecked the brand new car that you got for him, and now you have to pay like $10,000 in damages. Like, the man is not worth it. Throw him away. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. That sounds awful. But it did cross my mind. I was like, she's probably so pissed off at her husband right now. I would be pissed off. I would be so pissed off. It's like, you're driving without a driver's license in a car that's not yours, without insurance, and you're doing dumb shit like this on the road. If I were him, I would have been driving so effing carefully. Like, when I drive my boyfriend's car, I am so damn careful. Even if I'm late, it does not matter. You never compromise safety on the road. If you're late, that's your fault. Don't punish other people on the road because you're late for your mistake. You know what I mean? So I'm just shocked that he was driving so recklessly in a car that was not his without his driver's license. Which, if he had stayed on the scene by the time the police had showed up, he would have probably gotten a ticket for that because he was driving without a license. If there's anything I've learned from this, number one, car insurance sucks, and they will never get back to you in a timely manner. If you get into a car accident, you literally might be without your car for 3 to 4 weeks because of how slow car insurance is and how long it takes them to process these things. I'm not blaming like the agent or anybody I talk to. In general, as an institution, car insurance sucks. Number two, no matter how careful you are on the road, there will always be some bozo driving around recklessly that will get into an accident with you and then proceed to blame you for it, even though you were following all the rules on the road and were extra courteous to them. There will always be people out there that, no matter how hard you try, will hit you and will get into an accident with you. And I was thinking it over in my head. I was like, I guess while I was turning, I could have looked behind me at the same time to make sure he wasn't driving forward. But it's like, when you're turning, you're focusing on where you're turning so that you don't hit any cars or like a wall or something. So there's no way I could have been turning and also looking behind me to make sure that he wasn't doing anything like that. So yeah, life sucks sometimes. Car insurance sucks. There's bad people out there that will hit you. Oh yeah, the third thing that I learned that's probably the most valuable is make sure that if and when you sign up for insurance, if you excluded someone, that person never drives your car. Or if there's a chance that your significant other will drive your car, don't exclude them on your insurance. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. You know, she excluded him and like, boom, $10,000 bill, and most likely their insurance will go up, or they'll force her to put her husband on her insurance as well. Be careful about the whole excluding thing, because insurance means business when they ask you questions like, will your significant other be driving your car? Will anybody else be driving this vehicle? Okay. That's my story of today. All in all, honestly, it's totally okay. I would say that for my first car accident, the fact that I didn't have any injuries, that I just have to pay $1,000 deductible, and my car isn't like completely totaled, it's just a bumper. Unfortunately, some inner part of the car has damage that they need to work on, which is unfortunate, but hey, I'm gonna get my car back. I'm healthy and okay. Honestly, I think they're much worse off in this situation than I am. I feel like I ended up being in a better position because I don't have to pay a lot of money, as much money out of pocket as they do. Like, my car is older, it's not that valuable, it's not a brand new Chevy Silverado. It sucks, it's a huge inconvenience that I didn't plan for, but I guess that's all car stuff, right? What can you do? And then, during the same week, I actually got a cold, which also prevented me from filming. I would have filmed a lot sooner, but I kind of got sick. Not with the other C word, the cold, just the cold, a minor cold. It was just not a great week. That week really sucked. This week is better though. I'm feeling better. I'm making it work. I'm borrowing my boyfriend's car for now, so I've been driving that around here and there. So yeah, if you guys have any interesting stories about getting into car accidents or anything like that, let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. And if you've tried this sandwich and you like it or dislike it, let me know that too. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm gonna finish eating this and then I'm probably gonna go to the gym, and then don't tell anybody, but for for dinner, we might be getting all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue. Even though we had all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue like 2 weeks ago, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm just deeply craving Korean barbecue. Like, I have to have it. Like, I'm gonna die if I don't have all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue. Like, I need it in my life. I need that beef taco. Like I said, never ever ever look at me for food advice or how to eat. I like eating this and then I'm gonna eat Korean barbecue later. But hey, I'm gonna work it off at the gym. I'm doing leg day today, so I'm really hoping that like amps up my metabolism. I'm gonna go eat all my protein at my favorite Korean barbecue place. Hando, Hando. In case you guys were wondering. I also forgot to mention, I recently hit 58 subscribers, which I am super excited for. I know that, you know, for a lot of people that's like not a lot, but I'm super excited because my channel has been growing slowly but steadily, subscriber here and there. So I'm pretty proud to have 58 subscribers, and I really want to thank you guys for watching and liking and supporting and commenting. It really means a lot to me. Keep doing those things. We love to see it. I love doing YouTube, and I'm super excited to where this leads, and who knows, maybe it won't lead anywhere, and maybe my channel will be like a small channel forever, and that's okay too, honestly. That's totally alright. But have a fabulous weekend, guys. Mwah. Hearts. Bye!